Hi, welcome to Retro Tech Guardian. This channel is a brief introduction to the channel itself, giving you a little bit of explanation about me and my goals and aims for the channel itself. Okay, we'll start with me. My name's Brian. Actually, before we start, this little fella here, I'm sure you might have noticed him already, is called Ted. He's going to be the channel mascot. He's 3 inches tall. He'll give you an idea of your size reference for the items that we'll be working with and using. And I just wanted something just to, I don't know, give someone a little bit more interest or give something a little bit more wacky. It's kind of my personality, but we'll get more to that in a minute. So like I say, about me, my name's Brian. I was born in 1970, hence my interest in these things. I've always loved these. I always remember seeing them in the shops, like Tandy's, Rumbelows, Dixon's. I'm sure there was others which I've probably forgotten already. And I kind of lusted over some of these items. These items, some of them were almost like, I don't know, maybe kids today with a modern iPhone, the latest, greatest iPhone. It had that kind of attraction to me personally anyway, and I hope whoever's watching this, maybe some of you did too. So I've always been interested in these type of things. These were amazing to me when I was a kid growing up. I mean, especially things like the tiny little Watchman TV. You know, TVs were massive back in the 70s, 80s when I was growing up. TVs were huge. They had massive, big, clunky buttons going ka-chung, ka-chung to change channel. So yeah, so I got an interest in this kind of thing, and I'm basically I had a girlfriend whose parents, whose dad was actually a TV repairman, and I used to go into his little workshop and watch him do certain things, and he was kind of teaching me a little bit about electronics. So I got interested in electronics when I was about 14 years old. So I nagged me dad to get me one of these 160-in-1 project kits. I'm sure it was from Tandy's. If it wasn't from Tandy's, it would have been the likes of Maplin's. And they were spring-mounted little connectors on there that you could just push the bits of wire to connect up certain, instead of a breadboard where you would just plug in your items and do it that way. These had little springs. You could just push the wire into the spring, and you could make very simple circuits with it. Simple timers, moisture meters, light meter. They did have a light meter. They had a light switch where it came on dusk till dawn. And I nagged me dad about these things. Eventually he got me one for me Christmas, and I was so chuffed. And then of course I annoyed the hell out of them for the next 6 months, showing them the things that I'd made and running downstairs with this thing, and it would basically just be a crystal radio or a little light that lit up when you put your hand over the sensor and the light came on. And anyway, that got my interest flowing in electronics, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, the little thing that I had going. And so yeah, so that was basically me, the start of it. And I actually wanted to be a TV repairman like this gent that showed me a few bits. So comes to 16, left school, decided what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something like that. My dad was a bit gutted because I didn't go into computers. The course that I did was a City and Guilds Electronics 224, electronic repair and maintenance. And I did it on a YTS, a Young, Thick and Stupid, or what youth training scheme as it's more commonly known. So I did it there, and I had the option of being able to do electronics or computers. And when I say computers, they use BBC micros. And I knew from how far advanced in even just 2 or 3 years computers had come, from the likes of things like the ZX81 up to what, like we had an Archimedes at school with the laser display, with a very first Google Street Maps, which was people sent photos in and you could walk down a virtual street and all the images were on this laser disc and it projected it on this thing. So I could see how computers were advancing compared to what they were teaching you on, which was the BBC Micro. So I decided against computers and went for electronics. I was more interested in finding out exactly how those things worked more than being able to program them. I wanted to know how they worked and what physically made them show these images on the screen, or what let you key in and type up your programs and all the rest of it. I wanted to know how they did those things. So I did my electronics. I did that. I did a 6-month stint with the company repairing TVs, videos and BBC Micros for schools. And then after about 1989, things changed. A certain supermarket opened up selling colour TVs for £45 and the cheap mono VCRs for £45. No one was going to pay £40 to repair a VCR or a TV anymore. So, you know, that was, I believe, the start of the throwaway society was probably around the late 80s, very early 90s. And it was a shame because, you know, a lot of really good pieces of kit got thrown away that would have been easily serviceable or easily repairable at the time, but they just got thrown away. So I haven't done anything else with electronics for the last 30 years. So I am not an electronics expert by any stretch of the imagination. I have an understanding how these items work. Like, for instance, this little Watchman is actually a CRT tube, so it's not an LCD display. It's a very clever design, but again, we'll come to that in the videos for the items. So yeah, so I don't know a huge deal about that. And also at the moment, I do work nights full time. I work 5 nights a week. I don't have a lot of spare time. I am trying to do this in my spare time. I also don't have a massive budget, so you won't be finding any extremely rare items here. But that wasn't the goal of what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the cheaper items, the items that maybe everybody else wouldn't collect, or not as many people would collect. And I wanted to get them, and I wanted to keep them and try and preserve something. And anyway, so that's more about the channel. We'll come to that in a sec. So yeah, my budget isn't huge anyway. So not only do I not really want to get the more expensive items, because there's plenty of YouTubers out there that show you the really expensive items, and they are beautiful items, and they're really polished videos, really well done, and they're absolutely gorgeous items, but they are way above my pay grade. And like I say, and that's the other restriction is money. To give you an example, this Sony here, which is a TV radio cassette, it's called an FX412 UK. That was donated to me. The JVC cost me £35. That's just a TV radio. This is just a TV monitor colour. I got 2 of these, £10 for the pair. 1 power supply. One works. The one that doesn't is the one that's in best condition, which is typical, but we'll come to that in the video. So I haven't spent a fortune. The Fostex cost me £10. It is missing a knob, by the way, just here. So if anybody knows where I can get spare of these for a Fostex X26 multi-tracker, please email me in the link below or message on the comments, because I'd love to get that done. Right, so the channel itself. I actually want, I want to try and install a bit of a community feel about the channel and my website. Now, my website isn't polished. I've only just started the website. I've got very simple information about some items on there. There's some items on there so that I've made a start. Again, I don't have huge amounts of spare time, so bear with me, things will get better. But the idea of the community feel about the place is I found user manuals for a lot of these items, and I know that some people do struggle to get user manuals and what have you, and the likes of this one, for instance, called a Triumph CTV 8000. Can't find anything on the internet about it whatsoever. So I'd love to be able to find a user manual for that. So this is what I want. I want people who are watching, if you do watch and you do happen to have one of these things and you've got a box for it and it is, you know, you've got the manual, maybe you could photograph the manual, you could scan it, you could send it me, and then I can add that to my channel and to a link on the video itself about the item, and then obviously more and more people will get access to that. So we'll help a community as such of people who are interested in this type of thing. That's what I'd like. I don't know if it's going to happen. That will depend on obviously people commenting and other people's involvement. I will try my best to do research about each item when I do the video for them, because every item you see will get its own video. That will be the whole point of the actual series for Retro Tech Guardian. I said Retro Tech Guardian in the fact that I'm trying to save some of the cheaper items that maybe other people wouldn't buy. Things like this Danzek cassette. It's not in the best of condition. I think I was the only bidder. I think I picked it up for £2-3, something like that. But if I hadn't have done, what would the guy done with it? Would he have just binned it? Would we have never seen one of these Danzek little radio cassette players again? Who knows? But that's why I've been going for the cheaper items, because they're the kind of items that many others might overlook. And I want to try and keep one and keep some information about it alive. So if someone in the future finds one in an attic or find one somewhere in a box or in a cupboard and years later and they don't know anything about it, maybe we can help them find some information out about it. They can search the internet, they can find information about it then on the net and be able to use that information to make it work for them. So that's what I'd like anyway. I will be doing a video of every item. Ted will be making an appearance in every video I do, so get used to seeing him. Some of these things were ridiculously expensive when new. The likes of this little radio cassette player, it's not even a recorder, $99.95 from Tandy's. I mean, £100's a lot of money now. Imagine how much £100 was in late 80s, early 90s. And a lot of these, I dare say, were a lot more expensive than that. I will be doing the research before I do the video on each item. I will try and give you as much information as I can. If I miss anything, again, that's where I want you to either comment or email me. Feel free to message me about anything you want. I just will say, you can hear a buzzing in the background of this video. I am running an Xbox to show this on here. When I do the video of every item, that won't be in the background, so I'm sorry if that's annoyed the hell out of you. I am new to this. I am learning as I go. I don't have an expensive camera system. This is a Galaxy S8 Plus phone, no external microphone. So I'm doing it all on a budget to start with. Things might change in the future. I might get a better camera. If anybody can recommend a decent starter camera, a decent starter microphone, and we're not talking a lot of money here, if anybody can recommend one of them, then please get in touch. If you've got any views or comments that you'd like to make about how I've even presented the whole video, by all means get in touch. I like feedback. I don't care if it's negative feedback. You won't upset me. I've got quite thick skin. I've heard it all, been there, done most of it, so it won't upset me. Please just make a comment, get involved. And if you've got any information about, you know, items, I do have more items than this. There will be, like I say, one video a week going up. You get a lot more detail about each individual item there. I haven't cleaned any of these items apart from this Fostex. So I will be taking them apart. I will let you see the electronics inside so that people can see what it is now compared to what they were back in the day when they had proper electronics in it instead of just modern TVs. Even if it's a 50-inch TV on the wall, I have two little boards. Those two little boards do the whole thing. You know, this was different. This is old school. This is what I love. It's So, you know, this is my passion. I hope to reach out to other people who've got very similar ideas and tastes, and even you know, younger people who have an interest in the kind of technology that we had to live with. Although I can't say I did bad by it. I mean, these are absolutely gorgeous to me, but not everybody's cup of tea. So yeah, so there'll be an email link at the bottom of this video. There'll be the website link will be on the bottom of the video. If you want to email me about anything or get in touch, then please do. There is a readers section on the website, and I would like people to do this. If you've got an item that you can share with us, that you can share on the website, that you just want to send me photos and a brief description about how you've got it, or how do you use it, is it just laid in a cupboard, whatever, please get in touch, send me some photos. I'll put it on the website. I do have a readers page, and I would like readers to get in and have a look and see what other people have, as well as not just what I have. I will be continuing the collection. I've not been doing it for a great deal of time. These are all reasonably new purchases. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. Things will get a bit more polished as I get you more used to doing this. This is my very first video I've ever done on YouTube, so like I say, bear with me. Things will get better, and I hope you really enjoy what we're going to hopefully try to accomplish. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.